Alright, so hello everybody. It's in the wonderful chat. Oh man, I need to change my watermark. Holy crap, that thing's massive. Anyways, hopefully everyone's having a good Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. Hopefully you got your pre-orders in for your Xboxes and are prepped for tomorrow's PS5s, if that's what you're getting. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about the wonderful ThieAudio Legacy 3, which is in the box, and then the Legacy 5, which is out of the box. I'll do a quick faux unboxing because I've already opened them up. So rock right into it and talk about these wonderful ThieAudio Legacy 3s here. So real quick, the box, pretty nice. I think it comes with another box on top of this, I believe, when it shipped. These were loaned to me by Antdroid. I've linked his websites and reviews of both the Legacy 3 and Legacy 5 in the description below. So if you want like a proper review, go check out his reviews of these IEMs. This is more of just my thoughts on them and impressions. So actually we'll switch back to this view so you can kind of get an idea of what it's like to unbox these wonderful IEMs. So it has a nice little pull tab here, if you can kind of see here, and it slides out, kind of nice little shelf or what have you. Piece of paper, put that out, and you get the presentation like so. And actually this case is really nice, it has a magnet to it, and inside you have the cable and the tips. So we will go over that in a second, but let's first go over these wonderful IEMs. And today I will be using my RME in IEM mode because it has the cleanest IEM that I have on hand that's not a DAP. So anyways, and that's in neutral mode, no coloration or anything like that, just line out IEM, no crossfeed, no anything like that, just is pure. I'm air quoting right now, you can't see me, pure as you can get it, I guess. So anyways, Legacy 3s. These are actually really pretty. Let's see, where's my focus? I think it's down here actually. Really pretty IEMs, and the fun thing with these is that they're under $200, and you can actually get them for under $200 for custom in-ears, which is unheard of. It's ridiculous. They also have switches, which you can kind of change the sound signature a little bit with the switches here. I'm going to leave them in, I believe, the standard setting for this, just because I think that's what I'm going to do. I've played with the switches before, and I just personally prefer the neutral, or the basically how they come settings, which is up top, I believe. So let me go ahead and grab out the cable, and I'll also be utilizing Asla Sedna medium soft tips. So that's what I'll be kind of show you how those go on. Nozzle is a little bit long, and they're not completely symmetrical. To give you an idea, I guess I can take it off so you can kind of see they're close. It comes close, but I mean, obviously you're dealing with certain molds and what have you. But like you can see that this one's a little bit larger, but not massively. Not a big deal though. And the tips go on pretty easy. They slide right on. There's a little bit of a lip to the nozzle, which I like a lot, because when you don't have that, sometimes those things can get stuck in your ear, and you pull out your IEM and the tip stays and the IEM comes out. Not a fun thing to have happen. So let's dive into this real quick. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to show you guys. So it does come with kind of like one of those phone SIM card poppers, and that's what you use to change the switch positions. Is that so? And these do, I believe, come with more tips, but these were obviously on loan, so I don't ask for tips because I have my own. Real quick, too many things in the hand, and I'm leaning over. I need to do my setup a little bit better for dual camera. The cable's pretty nice. It has a little blue line to indicate left, and a red line to indicate right. And these cables are not the nicest cables, but I mean at the same time, you're not paying a whole lot for these IEMs, and they're pretty great for that in the sense that you're getting a pretty good quality for the price. Anyways, they're a little bit janky. You can kind of see like the weave's a little bit loose, but it's not a deal breaker. You can always get aftermarket cables for pretty cheap. So anyways, it's 2-pin as well. So let's get these bad boys going, and then we'll do some live audio tests and see how it goes. Hey, what's up, Alex and Pell? Thanks for joining. So let's see here. This one will be left. Sorry, I had a long back workout today, and so I'm a little bit, muscles are a little shaky. Let's see here. All right, so there you go. We'll plug it in so you can kind of see. Right now I'm probably gonna lower the volume is pretty low just because I don't want to blow my ears out in case it goes crazy, or if I had it too loud. So anyways, hi guys. Let's see here. Fit wise, I just, standard fit, kind of, and there we go. Sorry, mirrored camera. But I will say, like, the color and look of these is really nice. So pop them in. Comfort wise, honestly, they're some of the more comfortable IEMs I've played with. In having them in ear, they actually have a nice fit. They don't what would be the word? they aren't like pressing too much on the inner parts of my ear. They just kind of slot in, and it feels nice in the ear. I could see maybe potentially if you had a different, obviously that's unique to me. We all have different anatomy and all that fun stuff. But they, as far as comfort, they're, for me so far, not a problem. I haven't actually listened to the Legacy 3s in a week now, so yeah, I do need some Icy Hot. I actually have Icy Hot and some Tiger's Balm going that I usually put on, but I was kind of running a little bit late with my workout. I was trying to get one of those Xbox Series X's, and I was trying to get it, and I missed out. And I was also trying to get one of the new 3080s at the same time, so I had this weird gap in my workout, so I was cranking. Anyways, I'm actually going to be drinking just for a fun thing. Well, here we go. Some green tea, cinnamon orange green tea, Market Spice. It's a local Seattle tea company. It's at Pike's Place. Really delicious. They actually do a black tea also, and it's pretty yum. Anyways, that's what I'll be drinking along with my after workout protein shake. Anyways, random thoughts for the day, or random ADHD talks. Fit, fantastic fit. They feel great. I could see potentially where those Alex, the scalpers are killing me, man. But the fit is really good, actually. I'm really impressed with the fit for these, and then also just like the quality of the IEM itself for the price is pretty great. So let's jump into some music. You can see listening. Whoa, where did that? There you go. It's so weird having it mirrored. Anyways, right now I'm listening to Aesop Rock. Drums on the Wheel, a little underground hip hop style artist. He's probably got the biggest vocabulary. I think he's actually consistently had the largest vocabulary of any hip hop artist out there. He's pretty ridiculous, pretty good lyrics. Sometimes it seems like he's spouting nonsense, but if you actually listen and re-listen or go and read the lyrics, it actually makes sense. But anyways, jumping on it, give you a view of one of the reasons why it's hard for me to get rid of this wonderful RME is these lovely VU meters. Let's get to, there we go. Sound wise, they're a little bit lean, but not in a overly bad way. And this isn't exactly the greatest track to like test music with. It's more of just like a fun track to listen. His voice sounds a little nasally, but that's kind of Aesop's thing. So let me actually go to something a little more audiophile related, so we can get a better assessment of this. So listening to Heartbeats by Jose Gonzalez, acoustic and vocal track. The guitar sounds really good, actually. It's a little bit further back, though. I do feel like I'm pulled back a little bit. Soundstage isn't, not that this is a great soundstage track, but like it feels like the guitar is pulled back. His voice actually comes in and is a little more intimate. His voice sounds fantastic, though. It sounds really good. Yeah, I really like the strumming of the guitars too. It sounds really good. It's interesting, like it kind of has a little bit of a linger with the guitar pulls, and it could be the track too, the way it's recorded, mastered, and all that fun stuff. But for Legacy 3, I think these go for like 160 or something like that. I think I should probably have this stuff on hand, but I don't really think about the price for a lot of this stuff. I'm just kind of evaluating it for as it is, but I do know that they're cheaper. And I really like the general sound of these is really good. Like just kind of relaxed sound. It's clean enough. Nothing too forward so far. Let's get into something a little more lively maybe. Or maybe possibly sibilant. Let's see. Let's do something a little bassy. We'll do Rag and Bone Man, Human. Oh, yeah. The bass is a little bit but this is the track too. The bass is a little bit kind of loose in this track, but the bass, it's definitely picking that up. And the snaps and the claps, his voice is good. Yeah, so these are, for the price, it's hard to I don't have any complaints right now. There. Yeah, thank you, pal. Yeah, these are the threes and fives. Yeah, and last Rhino, the RME it's so hard to get rid of just because it's so diverse. Like you can use it as a preamp for active speakers. You can use it as a DAC for non-active speakers with a amp proper, and use all the wonderful features on it. It's just a very diverse little all-in-one. It as far as like the DAC itself, I don't think that it beats the Bifrost 2, but as an all-in-one, it's really hard to beat. It gets a little bit grainy when he gets into the higher notes, but as far as yeah, it's a killer. I mean, that price, 120, 110 for these is, I mean, it's smooth. It's easy to listen to. I can see these being a great walk around IEM that you're not stressed about like breaking or losing. I mean, still stress about it, so still $100 isn't cheap. Yeah, it's definitely not worth selling it. Last Rhino, sorry about the army. Yeah, I agree. I'd probably regret not having it on hand, especially for IEMs. Like it's got one of the best IEM implementations I've played with. Sorry, I was talking loud. Had the music going. So let's see here. Real quick, I want to go into something a little more. This one's a really fun one. It's Janelle Kroll. Kind of a. It says it's alternative and indie, but it's kind of like a jazzy bluesy vocal jam. I guess more popish alternative. But her vocals is what I'm mainly focusing on here. And they're good. I'm picking up little details like the grain of like the fake record player sound that people love to add to their tracks. These are pretty great. As far as like just a generalized fun IEM, I can't see any complaints. Apparently, though, if you read Antdroid's review or a comparison, they do have some unit variation that you need to be aware of. But honestly, at the price, even with unit variation, I can't. These are pretty great. It does get a little bit like on the cusp of being a little bit too bright or sibilant with her when she gets into her higher notes, but Yeah, so far pretty good. Let's see here. That was let's see. Um, the giant killer. I wouldn't necessarily call it a giant killer, but it's definitely, I would say, an easy to listen to IEM. And I'll be putting on the Legacy 5s here in a bit, and we can compare back and forth between the Legacy 5 and these, which I think the Legacy 5 is also still a really decently priced IEM. I think it's like around $250 roughly for the Legacy 5. But I don't know if you can get them in customs. I think that was one of the weird things with the Legacy 5 was I don't think it came in custom, or you couldn't get them in custom for whatever reason. I could be wrong, though. But yeah. Does it beat my Verite? No, no. I don't think anything will ever beat my Verite close, to be honest. That's just the Verite. I should do a review of that thing at some point, instead of just gushing about it all the time in random quotes. But the Verite close to me is like coming home. Like it's just like that perfect chair that, you know what I mean? Like it's that leather worn chair that you've had forever. It just fits you like a glove, and it just everything is right in the world when you sit in it. That's kind of how I feel about my VC. So that's kind of my jam. Hey Martin, good to see you, man. I know you like these for us earlier streams, and for you a little bit later in the afternoon, but more so you don't have to wake up at 3 in the morning. But here, let me actually switch out to the Legacy 5, and we'll talk about those wonderful IEMs real quick. So let me switch it out to this view, and we can look at these things. So, and I'm using the exact. God, these things are a little bit janky though. The cable. There we go. Kind of similar situation as far as the unbox goes for these. This is actually a Legacy 5's case. It's kind of cool. They have this really nice. It's kind of hard to see here. I tried to highlight it in some of my photos I've taken and posted on Instagram, but there's like a dark layer, but underneath is like this really cool galaxy purple and shimmer underneath both, and it's just really pretty when you get the light just right, or just the right amount of, like, especially in the sun, for whatever reason it makes it glow a little better, like LED light, and my lights I have now aren't really a good showcase of it, but you can kind of see it if I move it around a little bit, but you kind of see that shimmer. But there's actually a bunch of like purplish like colors too that go in there. They're really pretty. And then it's a little port there for the drivers. Similar, in fact, same cable as far as make. Still that kind of janky cable, but not horrible. Similar size too, and style of make, but this one has like a bigger dimple here. This one doesn't have as big of a dimple, but I think in the Legacy 5 is a little bit bigger. I think it has more drivers. I don't quote me. I am not the best at the IEM world here. Let's see here. Switch this out to see how they go in ear. And once again, I haven't listened to these ones in a while, so this is kind of a fresh take on these as well to some level. I've been listening most recently. I've been listening to my Mest and I got the Aura, the Campfire Audio Aura. I was listening to those the other day randomly. I think yesterday I was doing a quick. Someone asked what I thought of them, and then I have the Clairvoyance. I'll be doing another live stream with the Clairvoyance here at some point. So. Yeah, yeah. The RME really is really tough to beat that wonderful little device. And they had a new one that just came out over the summer or spring, I think, with the new 9. It's one of the newer AKM chips. Which, if you want an AKM chip and you haven't bought a DAC that has an AKM chip in it, probably should jump on it, because they had that AKM fire and a factory fire, and so I believe that a lot of the AKM DACs are going to be getting a little bit. I just noticed my camera is not level. Yeah, whatever. But anyways, AKM fire. So a lot of the AKM based DACs, like a lot of your Modis and a lot of your topping stuff. There's a lot. Anything with AKM DAC chip in it is going to be becoming very rare soon, because they don't have inventory for it. So if you want an AKM DAC based DAC, AKM based DAC, might want to jump on it sooner than later, because there's not going to be enough. There's going to be a big supply and demand issue, so the prices are probably going to start hiking on those AKM chip DACs, and they're going to get a little rare for a little bit until they get the factory back online. Legacy 5 fit feels very similar, a little bit bigger than the Legacy 3. Overall, not a bad fit. I'm actually relatively sensitive to IEMs. I really don't like them in my ears. So my ears start aching after a couple hours. I mostly use IEMs on the go if I was going to like a coffee shop or if I was traveling, which as of right now is not really a big thing. So I tend to be listening to mostly over ears these days. But I have these on hand, so I figured I would talk to you guys about my impressions. Let's start back with the Sunny Day with Janelle Kroll. This is the Michael Brune remix, sorry, so it does have a little more of that EDM stuff into it. Same volume. These are already louder, so a little more sensitive. Her voice is much more forward. More detail for sure is there. I can pick up a little more detail, and then like there's this piano, it sounds like, almost like there's like one single thing, like bing, bing, and in the background I'm picking up more of this clap background. I'm picking that up more. Her voice is not as sibilant or pushing into sibilant. Bass is a little bit cleaner. Hi-hats or brushes are, the detail in them is a little bit better, which is always something I always look for, how clean that sounds. It's a little bit grainy when it gets a lot of instruments going at once. And by grain, I mean it has this like noisiness to it, like a little bit of like kind of, it's hard to separate the tracks. But it's not bad. Yeah, this sounds, it's definitely a step up. It's definitely a step up from the Legacy 3. Let's see. Sorry, I talk loud. It's so hard to talk and keep my volume down when I'm listening and trying to talk to you guys. Let's see. Let's do another random. Do you guys think EDM-y type stuff or like another hip-hop-y? Let's do... This one's not the best mastered, so let's try this and see what happens. This is Joshua Tree by Cautious Clay. The birds in the beginning are really good, and it has this drum snap that's can be kind of piercing, but not bad here. Vocals are good. I really like the vocals with these. They're a little bit smoother. Oh, and the little is really nice. These sound like they're a little bit wider too than the Legacy 3 for whatever reason. Not by a lot, but it just feels like the staging is a little bit better, and the imaging seems better as well. Like, and then the separation. Yeah, the separation's a little bit better. It's still a little bit kind of blurry with the separation, but it's not as blurry as with the Legacy 3. And by blurry, I mean like the way that the tracks or the sounds kind of blend together a little bit. And the bass is nice. This is a weird track though. It's not, like I said, not the best mastered. So what do you guys think? What do you want to do for another track? Anything you guys would like to hear about these things? I might jump on some random other music, but let's see here. Oh, this is a really good one. This guy is really interesting for tracks. His name is Luca Stricagnoli. And he does, look him up on YouTube, and he does like the guitar, like the multi-guitars and then like the slap plates. And so he's like a one-man band kind of a deal. But his music it's crazy how good it is and he usually does covers. So like right now it's the Blink-182 I Miss You cover that I'm going to play. And this is more just to test like I'll do a Daft Punk next, pal. These sound fantastic with acoustic though. Like I'm picking up, it's just, these are really good for the acoustic piece. And then the higher string, like the brighter string, not the low end. But yeah, so far these are really good. Let's do some Daft Punk, which, let's see here. Boom, boom. Let's see here, Daft. Hey, Voodoo. Yeah, 250, and these are actually for 250. I'm impressed. I also have. I might. Where do I have it? It's right here. I might do at the end of this. I actually still have Antdroid's Blessing 2s here. So maybe I'll do a quick comparison with these with the Blessing 2, because that seems like a good comparison to have in reference. Hey, Marcello, what's up, my man? So I might do that here in the end. So far, this is really good. We'll do a comparison with the Moondrop Blessing 2 with the Legacy 5, because I think that's a fairer comparison. And then maybe I'll throw in the Legacy 3 at the end as a comparison, just to see. But yeah, the Legacy 5s are definitely worth that. Well, worth is a preference thing or whatever, but like they're definitely. I'm getting a little better detail. I'm getting a little better. Just across the board, it seems like just like an elevated capabilities. So yeah, I'll do that real quick. I'll do that with Daft Punk. Let's say lose yourself to dance would be a good, because it has that sparkle in the beginning. Does that sparkle seems a little pulled back. Bass is pretty decent. Still has that fluttery bass a little bit. Tones seem pretty on par. It definitely has a more pulled back sound. It's not as not that it's intimate, but it's like and I hate the word veil for these things, but it like kind of like you're not quite fully there, and it has that veil a little bit, or pulled. I call it the pulled back a little bit, but it's not like you're sitting back in a stage, but like that the music's been pulled further away from your head or ears. But yeah, I think that actually, let me get these blessings set up and ready to rock, and then we'll do a quick comparison between the Legacy 5s and the Moondrop. Current reigning budget IEM kings, the Blessing 2s. Let's see here. Sorry, I have to read the... Which one is right? Which one is left? And this is also... the Blessing cable is a janky mess. I try to keep it like every time I put these in, I do this. I do a little... I kind of do this, and I do like the classic wind, like you do the... You know... And then they always come out as this giant rat's nest. It's so crazy. So a little bit janky as well. Let's see here. And something I've always found is a good test for this is right. These ones actually are different. They lean in, but usually with my cables, they lean outward. For left, they usually kind of lean outward. At least my other cables, and these ones lean in, so that was a bad thing I was about to say. Let's see here. The bass in these is really good. Like this, listening to Lose Yourself to Dance with the Legacy 5s is pretty good. All right, let's get this. So actually, let me chaos. You guys, it's so hard to try to do like 4 things at once, like talking, listening to music, evaluating the music, and then trying to put tips on these things. I'm like, and then I have these like, 'cause it's short cable and I'm cable. Anyways, Moondrop, not my favorite, honestly. The fit on these, and then the stem is smooth. It doesn't have a lip there, so these ones are notorious for me in that. One, they don't quite fit my favorite tips, these Asla Sednas, and so you have to kind of work to get them on. And then the other issue is once they're on there, it's nice, they sit in there, but they also are notorious. See, they just pop right off. It just shot right off. Is that like they shoot right off and they'll get stuck in my ear. So that might happen. I might have to do the little push my ear to get the IEM tip out for the Moondrops. So that was one thing. And then the Moondrops also, for whatever reason, the tip is fairly large bore, like the bore on it. So it's not the greatest thing to put in my ear. It's not the most comfortable. So we're going to do Lose Yourself to Dance. So we're listening to it with Legacy. I get a fresh go on it. Yeah. Kind of want to get a real quick refresher. You know, the clapping is really good with Legacy 5 too. But here, let's swap these bad boys out. Hopefully I don't lose my tips in my ears with these ones. Oh, yeah, looks like I did. See, I did it with this one. Ugh. That's one thing about these, some of these ones is that you get these tips stuck and then you're like, ugh. You have to do this weird pull out thing. I might have to get tweezers to get these ones out. Ugh. There we go. Pain in the butt, man. So that was one of the things. That's one of my issues that I have with these style of tips. So the Legacy is another one. I'll show you why that just happened. My ears are all red now. And then I mangle-jangled this again. So the one, I should have talked about those when I did the Legacy thing. But the one thing with the Legacy that's similar to the Moondrop, and they have this. And if you can see, it's it's smooth. It's just a nice metal tube, and it doesn't have any lip to it, so your tips will just slide right out. Yeah. So hey, live impressions. Now you're seeing some of that fun that happens with that kind of stuff. But yeah, these ones for the bore size, and then they actually almost match my tips I like here, and so that's why they kind of can come out pretty easy. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, because that's not fun. Let's see here. We'll plug in the Moondrops, and where are we at here? This would be left, and this would be right. All right, Legacy. Yeah, see, and then these ones, they surprisingly, after having the Legacies in, these ones aren't as bad initially. Usually I don't really like these, but these ones stick way far out comparatively. I don't know if you can kind of catch that. Well, the Mest, I actually do have my Mests readily available. So, but these are not a fair compare. Well, I guess it depends on what your thoughts on. I can throw the Mest on too as like a final comparison between the Legacy 5. But I mean, you're talking almost, was that like 6 times more expensive than the Legacy 5s. So right back to the Moondrop Blessing 2s. Lose Yourself to Dance. These aren't as sensitive. I'm going to have to turn up the volume a little bit. Very similar. I would say the lows are a little bit cleaner. Like the bass is hitting cleaner. And then the stage seems deeper. And I feel like I don't have that veil anymore. And the bass is cleaner, and the tones are about similar, but it seems like these just sound cleaner. I think that would be like the way to put it. They sound a little bit cleaner. It's not as what would the term be? I think it's that veil factor. Like it's just not as, it seems cleaner. The treble seems a little bit smoother. Their separation's a little bit better. And the vocals are a little bit crisper. Yeah, I'd say the imaging and separation is where these are doing a little bit better, and that's where you're getting that cleaner sound. And there's like a depth to it, a little more depth. And the claps are nice, but they sound a little bit wide, but they're a little bit off. Like they're not as it feels like the claps are a little bit better on the Legacy 5. And the sparkle was a little bit better. Like the sparkle sound, it sounds a little bit better with the Legacy 5. And I do think that the vocals, that's something that's interesting. Let me go to that, let me go to another vocal track. this is for the 5. So comparing to the 5, Legacy 5 to the Blessing 2 now. Sorry, Voodoo. So I have the Blessing 2s in now as a quick comparison. And then, because that's kind of, somebody asked about that. Let's see. Sorry, let me find a audio track. I want to do the same one I did earlier, the sunny days. Yeah, the vocals are good on the Blessing 2, but I think that the Legacy's vocals, to me anyways, felt a little bit more in presence. They had a better presence, but they did get a little bit more pushing towards that sibilance, or that like kind of like too high or too bright, but it did seem a little bit better. Yeah, Pelpin, that's probably what it is. It does have that kind of like recessed sound, or less grippy, less in your face, less presence. Yeah, I'm not the most into measurements, but I appreciate what they're there for and what they tell you. These sound almost too crisp, if that makes sense. The Blessings 2s, like they're, and by crisp I mean like they had this really. They almost remind me of like a very baby Ananda, or like where the separation is so like sharp, but it's not like not to the level that those have, but that has that similar kind of feel to it. But yeah, let's pray for me, Argentina, that I don't lose a tip of my ear. Okay, there's one. Freedom. Let's see here. So yeah, I think that with those two, I would say that depending on your preference, that yeah, Martin. So depending on your preference, I do think that the Legacies are more comfortable, and for the price, especially if you go with the Legacy 3, I think it's like $180 for if you go to an ear doctor, or you go to some place that will do the molds for your ear. You can get the Legacy 3 in a custom mold, so it's literally shaped to your ear, and that's unheard of. That's a super ridiculously good price for custom molds, and I believe that actually does help with the sound. Antdroid has, I think he has the Legacy 3 in custom mold, but he really liked it a little bit better with that than the Universal. And you can see his reviews below. Let's see here. The iSign 10s. Did I have the iSign 10s? I thought I had the... Which one did I have? I had one of the iSigns. Sorry, I'm going to go to the internet and see which one the iSign 10 is and which one I had. iSign 10. Okay, so there's the iSign 10. I had the bigger brother to that one. I had the is it the 20 or the no? I had the much more expensive version of that. So I did have that one, not the iSign 10, but I did have the top of the line version of that. I wouldn't really call those an IEM though. They're kind of like a weird. It's almost like a open back headphone that has an IEM nozzle that doesn't quite do an IEM thing. It's more of like it just rests in your ears, and then the hooks are what hold it on. So it reminds me more of if you had a mini planar for travel. And I would say that those, for what they do, they were really impressive, especially with that what's it called, the DSP Bluetooth thing, or the specifically they have that specific cable that they have that's really good for it. And then as far as the Legacy 3, 5, and then compared to the Blessing 2, Legacy 3 I think is a fantastic deal for a walk around, don't care IEM that sounds good enough, and running around with Spotify, that kind of stuff. Yeah, KSC 75 is pretty fantastic. I actually have those up there actually, and then I have my Porta Pros. Those are my. I should do a thing on that too, where talk about Porta Pros and how they work. But I also have the KSC 75s, which you're talking about, Martin, and those are fantastic deal for what they are. If you don't mind having things on your ear and clipped on and stuff. but the Legacy 5, Legacy 3, Legacy 5, I think, compared to Legacy 3, is definitely worth the bump in price, in the sense of for capabilities. It does seem like it has a little bit better detail and a little bit better across the board, just technicalities. But I do think the Legacy 3 for the price is a really good deal. The Moondrop Blessing 2s, just from this quick little jam, I would say, depending on your flavor, like what you're looking for, the Moondrops seem to be a little bit brighter. They have a little more image separation, it seems like. Details, that could be a trick to the detail too. Like that could be the detail I'm picking up more over the Legacy 5. It could just because they're be brighter and you're kind of force fed that a little bit more. But the separation is definitely there. The imaging does seem to be slightly better, and then the stage does seem deeper with the Blessing 2 over the Legacy 5. But the Legacy 5 did seem to have a little bit better, to me, the vocals seemed slightly better, even though they were pushed into sibilant. They had a little more presence to them. And then and that's just my just doing this right now comparison. But they do have that kind of pulled back. Both the Legacy 3 and 5 do have that kind of veiled or pulled back sound. I forgot to turn off notifications. Okay. But yeah, I think that's kind of my thoughts on those wonderful IEMs. So if you're looking for a pretty decent IEM jam, I think ThieAudio, so I think Linsol is the guys. The i4, yeah, I think it was the i4 I had. I can probably pull it up. I took pictures of it. I don't think I did any kind of review with them or anything, or I did an open box thing. But anyhow, yeah. So they're great. For the price, anyways. I think depending on what you're looking for, I think that the Legacies over the Moondrop are a little more relaxed, easier to listen to, even though they have that kind of pulled back veiled. I think they would be better with like Lossy or what have you. And yeah, I think with that, unless there's any questions or things you guys want to ask me, I'll probably be doing a clairvoyance, because I need to get some of these out of here and give them back to Antdroid and kind of clear up for some other stuff. I have some other IEMs that came in from Precog Vision. I have the Hero, the Empire Ears Hero. I have the Campfire Audio Aura, so I'll be doing some stuff with that. I need to take pictures of them and stuff. But I need to figure out how I'm going to do those. I also have the Noble. I think Noble, I'm not sure it's the Kaiser. I have one of the Nobles, so I need to kind of play with those. But yeah, I think from there, and I think we're going to do another ZMF thing with Marcello at some point. We're going to do another live stream about ZMF and some of the toys he's recently got from ZMF to talk about. So that will be exciting and fun to chat about. And so, yeah. Oh, final boss of sorts. Thank you. Yeah, I will do a quick Mest. We'll do Mest versus... We'll take... what do you think? You want me to do... We'll do Mest versus Blessing 2 first. How about that? And I'm actually, funny thing is I'm actually using the clairvoyance cable with my Mest right now, because the cables I have for my Mester, I specifically got them for my DAP. So and I don't have a 4.4 Pentacon on my RME, as much as I love that. So here's an example of how I like these, because if you look, the Mest has a nice lip there on the nozzle, and so it holds in the... You can't really see it, but there's actually a lip inside of the Azelsadna tips, which like grips onto that, which is great for kind of a pain in the butt to get them on. But once they're on there, I'm not worried about these coming out in my ear. But they are kind of a pain to get on there. Yeah, it should be fun. I still need to talk to Marcello about it and kind of get an exact plan for it, but we're going to do kind of similar to what I did with him and Chrono, but on his channel. So that'll be fun. That'll be really fun. Kind of get him going on the live stream stuff, and not just his fantastic reviews. So that's another thing. Marcello just recently did the headphone, or however somebody wants to pronounce it. Unique Melody Mest, Clairvoyance cable. Clairvoyance cable is still a little janky, but it's much better than the cables that we were playing with previously. And also, it kind of interesting. I'll talk about this when I do the Clairvoyance thing. But it comes with 2.5, but it has these crazy little adapters, and there's a bunch of them that you just plug in, and but it makes it big for a DAP, but for anything else, good. Ooh, Apple Live event. What was that about, Martin? What'd they announce? Anything cool? New iPad Pros, maybe? That'd be awesome. Let's see, right, left. All right. And that's the other thing too, is these feel really good too in my ear. I really like the Mests. These are my own personal Mests. I purchased them blindly from advice from a friend. Let's see here. Sunny Days. We'll kick back to that one because that's what I'm used to. Oh. There we go. Oh, the night and day. Presence, way better. Detail, exponentially better. And vocals are just, oof. It's like coming out of a foggy road into a sunny day as we're listening to Sunny Days. Oh man, it's just the bass is better, the presence is better, the mids are fantastic. And the vocals, and then the hi-hats and drums. It's just a whole nother level, though. I mean, it's so unfair. These sound really good. Let's go Lose Yourself to Dance. The sparkle is way more realistic sounding for these than any of the others. And then the detail and separation, like the little flutter. Guitar sounds better, more accurate. This feels more like what I would expect to hear, if that makes sense. If I was listening to these guys practice or live. Yeah, and then the snap and the brushes and then the hi-hat, it's really good. Let me get to the vocals here. And the claps are a little bit cleaner. Separation's good, but not in that almost fake separation where it's almost too crisp. It has a nice, easy separation. And the claps are really good. And acoustics. The percussions are really good. And the bass is nice. Really nice, like impact. It has a nice impact to it. Yeah, these are fantastic IEMs. Mest is the best. So my two IEMs that I've, over the time that I've had, the ones that I own currently that I use all the time, or when I would be using it, are the Mest, and I have the Andromeda Golds. And those are my two IEMs that I own. Probably will not be getting rid of anytime soon. So that's one of the things. Oh, but I did, I don't have it, but I have the Clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is fantastic. I'll do an IEM with that, but I really like the Monarch too. The Monarch was really good when I had it for a quick listen. I did a quick in-person listen. I didn't get to actually hold it for very long. I listened to like a track or two. Yeah, Z1R would be interesting. I don't know if I can get a Z1R. I'd have to ask somebody that has one. I don't know anybody offhand that has a Z1R readily available though. So if I can get Z1R, that'd be cool too. I think that those would be seems to be that those ones are often talked about in the IEM world. Maybe we can get Antdroid, someone to give him one, because he would probably be a better reviewer of the Z1R. I'm just doing my impressions and my thoughts on it as a more of like your like an audiophile-ish person that's listening to music than a proper reviewer. That's how I'm kind of approaching these. Just my quick impressions. I don't think that my thoughts are the end all be all or anything like that, or that it's just my impressions and thoughts on these. So take that for what it is. Yeah, so it looks like new Mac Air, Mac Pro, and mini desktop. Oh, a new mini desktop thing. On M1 chip looks promising. Very cool. Yeah, and Kevin, yeah, the Mest really are like there's something just really cool about those. Like they're not perfect by any means, but then there's no IEM and no headphone is perfect. That's why you have different IEMs or different headphones on hand if you can, and for different flavors. But I do think that the Mest is one of those special ones that kind of does everything really well, and excels in other spots too. But it's kind of like that. it would be like for me. Kind of like my VC, I guess, to some level, like where I just enjoy it in general. But yeah, so I think with that, I will let you guys have your lunch back. And yeah, went 50 minutes. I need to figure out a way to cut these down so you guys aren't wasting an hour listening to me ramble on. So with that, yeah, I think unless there's any questions real quick, I believe I'll be trying to do another, I might schedule another stream for tomorrow, probably in the afternoon, around 2 to do the clairvoyance. And if there's anything else you guys want to talk about outside of IEMs or headphones, I also might try and do a HiFi After Dark this Friday maybe, but I might be chatting more, maybe some audio, but maybe some more keyboard stuff. Fun thing, I built my first custom keyboard. This thing weighs a ton, so it's going to be weird to hold up, but there we go. It's the Austin R2, and this thing I could if I dropped this out a window, it'd probably kill somebody. It's ridiculously heavy. But I did my first ever switches. I don't know if anybody knows about mechanical keyboards, but I'm learning still. But I did you buy the key or the switches, and then you have to open them up, and then you lube all the springs and all the parts that kind of connect, and it makes for a nice sounding keyboard. Yeah, the thing is gorgeous, and this was made by Drift Mechanics, and this is the Austin R2, and I believe he's getting ready to do another group. That's the other thing that's weird about keyboards like this, is you have to do like the group buy thing or raffle thing, because they're really rare. They can only make so many kind of deal, so it makes them for like a rare acquisition. And then fun thing too, I don't know if I can show this with my cable. I have P for Fuzz, beautiful cable here. Actually, let me move it over here. Oh, can I? Nope, I can't do it. Let me just do this. All right, this is going to be a little bit wonky. Sorry, guys. But I don't know if you can see that. Let's see here. Move my battery cable. Yeah, it really has have this Iron Man type deal. But I don't know if you can see it, but it has. There it is. So you can kind of see here. There's a little light. There's a little LED lights here. So if I turn on caps lock, num lock, and then I think it's scroll lock. Yeah, you get all three. So it's a little 3-dot thing. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know if you just heard that, but like this, the thing weighs probably like 20 pounds. It's ridiculously heavy. But it's nice. And it has a nice typing linears. So anyways, random. So if you want, I'd love to talk about that stuff. I'm not just talking about audio. We can always talk about other random things and hang out. So anyhow, actually, Gary, that's perfect. So Z1R messed. He thinks Z1R has a slightly recessed mids and an awkward fit. It did have that. The Z1R looks beautiful, but it does have that unique. Kind of reminds me of the 10 HiFi T4s or T3 Pros or T2 Pros. It has that kind of like circular, but then kind of pops out. But then they're deep, as I recall. Like the Z1Rs, I believe they have a really deep. Where's a good example? So like the Mest is pretty deep, but I think the Z1Rs is even deeper. Like this part, the part of the shell is like really deep. From my looking at pictures and other people's reviews. So let's see. Yeah, and I just wasted another 3-4 minutes talking about a keyboard and other things. But all right, I'll let you guys get going then. And then Gary, regarding the Z1R. Also, isn't the Z1R, just real quick? I believe the Z1R is more of a not proper V shape, but it has a little more bass and treble to it. It kind of I've never heard one, so I can't really say for sure. But that was my understanding. I could be wrong, so correct me wrong. But that's something to think about too. And that's the fun thing about trying all these things. If you get a chance to try them, it's all about the experience of hearing these things and seeing what you like and what you don't like, and go from there. And if you like it, that's the other thing I want to end on is if you like something, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You like it, so who cares? You don't need to get verification that what you have is good or bad or whatever. So so if you like it, who cares? You like it. All good. And with that, I will leave off and let you guys have a remainder of your day and enjoy it. And I'll hopefully chat with you guys tomorrow with the clairvoyance if I can get that scheduled and ready to rock. So, all right, cheers. And I will hit the little end button. So, hasta luego.